If you spend time in a village in the developing world, you see a lot of problems. You see problems with employment, people not having access to jobs. You see problems with education, people not being able to make it through school. You see problems with disease and sickness affecting millions of people. And what most of us don't realize is that one of the biggest barriers that keeps us from being able to fix those problems is chronic malnutrition. Chronic malnutrition is based on the foods that kids get in their first 2 years of life. In countries like Guatemala, this can affect up to half the population. In Guatemala, where we work, it's over half, leaving Guatemala the 5th most malnourished country in the world.
Chronic malnutrition happens when children eat enough food, but not food that gives them the nutrients that they need. So this causes them to never develop properly, intellectually or physically, meaning that chronic malnutrition is a trap of human potential. Lots of NGOs have spent millions of dollars trying to convince people to eat more nutritious food, and it hasn't worked.
One of the biggest causes of malnutrition is the staple food in the country that you're in. In Guatemala, this is corn. Corn is the cheapest thing to buy in the market, it's the easiest thing to grow, and it's the foundation of all of local culture. Our solution isn't to get rid of corn. Our solution is to make corn itself better, to make it more nutritious. Semilla Nueva works with scientists from around the world and organizations like CIMMYT and Harvest Plus to come up with new corn seeds that are not only far more nutritious, but also help farmers to increase their income. This year, and up to now, we've been able to change the daily diets of 5,000 families using our seeds. And through a model that combines developing these seeds, promoting them, as well as direct sales, we hope to double that number within the next year and double it again after that, with a goal within 5 years to be able to have 50% of our revenue coming from our own sales and changing the daily diets of 1 million people.
One thing to have the product, the solution, and Semilla Nueva does a great job with that. They produce biofortified seed, a more nutritious corn, that if farmers would just stop planting what they're planting now and plant this and eat it, problem solved. All of it's been built on a foundation of research, which is how we started it. We got out to the communities, talked to people, talked to women, talked to farmers, talked to children, even little kids. Understanding how they live, their way of life, the environment that they're making these decisions in is what gives us the basis to define a strategy that lets us actually get this corn to people. A couple big findings were that the nutrition message really wasn't resonating with people. People don't really recognize malnutrition even when their own kids have it. They don't really know what protein is. We put out the Fortaleza brand and we appealed to the satisfaction that people get from eating this corn, that it kills their hunger for longer, which is something they care about a lot, or the fact that it gives them more energy. And in just 1 year, we were able to increase demand for this corn by 10 times.
The next big question is, okay, so how do you actually measure your impact? How do you figure out how much this is going to make a difference? Because changing the corn that people eat is one thing, but seeing the difference in stunting is a whole nother game. And luckily for us, this kind of more nutritious corn has been studied in nearly a dozen randomly controlled trials around the world, and the results are conclusive. You can reduce stunting by up to 20% in kids under 2 simply by swapping normal corn to this more nutritious corn. So what we have to measure is how many kids under 2 can we get to switch? How many diets can we change of people under 2? And that's going to include both the farming families who adopt our corn, and then being able to track how many kids get to eat it through the normal market mechanisms of those farmers selling and normal people buying. The thing that really excites me about Semilla Nueva and about the work that we're doing is that instead of fighting against culture, we're using it. Instead of trying to get people to change what they've done for thousands of years, we're just trying to improve upon it. we come up with a financial incentive to get farmers to participate and make the food that they've already eaten even better. And we hope that this becomes a model not just for Guatemala, but for countries around the world.